About the only smart guy that I know, bro. Nobody knows shit about boxing.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah,
Be careful what you wish for because it can become a reality.
yeah. The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. All right, so I wanted to come on here right quick and just talk some Oscar Collazo because, you know, he's definitely one of the faces of Puerto Rican boxing. I think personally for me, I know people want to talk about Xander Zayas, who's a fantastic talent. They want to talk about Subirán Matias, who's the most destructive force in the 140 division. But for me, for my money personally, when we talk about skills, because they say skills pay the bills, the most skilled Puerto Rican fighter out right now in the business is in fact the man that currently occupies the WBO minimum weight title, which is none other than Oscar Collazo. Now, Oscar Collazo, he had a fight this past weekend out there in upstate New York. Hall of Fame weekend was going on, so Golden Boy put on the card, and he had a fight, trying to stay active and continue to build that name, build that buzz as one of boxing's most active champions. He had 3 fights last year. This is his second fight of this year. He's probably going to fight at least one more time this year. So you're talking about potentially anywhere from 6 to 7 fights for Oscar Collazo in the last 2 years. So that's how you do it. That's how the old fighters used to do it. But I wanted to talk about the fight with Gerardo Zapata because the Gerardo Zapata fight is worth talking about. Gerardo Zapata, doesn't have like the prettiest record or knockout ratio or anything like that. He had a loss coming in against, I believe it was Rene Santiago. But, Zapata, he's Nicaraguan, southpaw, knows how to fight. Definitely a competent professional fighter. Definitely worthy of being in the ring with Collazo. And he showed it. He showed it in the second round when he actually wound up hurting Oscar Collazo and took him to some real deep, dark, uncomfortable places. And it looked like for maybe a moment in time in that second round, he was going to go ahead and just get Oscar Collazo out of there. And that's not what happened. Collazo was able to weather the storm. And I think this is actually a fight where Collazo showed some character because Collazo was coming into this fight on a 4-fight knockout streak. He's been knocking out everything in sight. He hadn't gone the distance since he fought Vic Saladar. Vic Saladar. When we all know, if you follow the lower weight classes, Vic Saladar is a good fighter. Vic Saladar has given us some high-level fighters all they could handle, like Kosai Tanaka. So, that being said, I thought Collazo acquitted himself very well. He didn't get the knockout, so the knockout streak comes to an end. But I think he gets 10 hard, really good professional rounds that are going to serve him well for the big fights coming up in his career. Now, let's talk about what could be next for Oscar Collazo because, like I said, I think his name is going to become more prominent in boxing, especially, I think Golden Boy Promotions, they get a lot of criticism for, like, who they're not keeping active and what they're not doing. But one thing they are doing is they're keeping this young man busy and they're keeping him active and they're making him a relevant name in boxing as a minimum weight, which is very hard because this weight class doesn't get a lot of attention. Even the, hardcore boxing people like myself, I can sometimes overlook the 105 division because a lot of times the fights don't get televised. So I think they're doing a great job. Him in conjunction with Miguel Cotto Promotions, they're doing a good job. Now, the 2 fights that are going to be big for Collazo, there's really only 2 big fights out there for him in this weight class. So the way I see it is this. He could either do the biggest fight possible, which is it'll be Puerto Rico versus Japan. He could fight Jinjiro Shigeoka, who many people believe is the best fighter in this division. We all know Japan is going through a golden age of boxing. We all know that Japanese fighters have a lot of world titles right now in boxing, especially around these weight classes. So you talk about Collazo being a versatile boxer puncher. You talk about Jinjiro Shigeoka being a dynamic boxer puncher. You have yourself a very great fight if that happens. So that's one fight. And then the other fight would be a fight that against a fighter that Oscar Collazo already beat, but this guy's went on to become champion again, and it shows you his greatness, and that's none other than the Filipino Melvin Jerusalem. Melvin Jerusalem beat a really good fighter in Yudai Shigeoka, who's the brother of Jinjiro, and You know, if they were to do a rematch, now all of a sudden you have a unification fight, and then, okay, let's say he does that fight next. If Collazo decides to do that fight next, it would be a unification fight, and then the winner of that fight could fight Shigeoka, and then all of a sudden that becomes a 3-belt unification fight. So I think there's good value in the 105-pound division. There's good fights to make in the 105-pound division, and that's why on my channel I'm doing the best I can to bring the people that watch me video by video, bring it to your guys' attention that this division has some really skilled fighters, you know. So good win for him. You know, it's always good to see a fighter go through a little bit of adversity. I thought Collazo showed a good gas tank. I thought Collazo showed the ability to, you know, get better as the fights go on, and it'll serve him well. You know, I mean, what was that, like his 10th or 11th fight? So good for him, you know. So those are my brief thoughts on Collazo. I'll end the video on this note. He wasn't the only one on the card I was paying attention to. You had South Florida's very own Eric Tudor, who also fought. It was his second fight in the pros with his coach, Jeff Poritz of Beta Bay Boxing. And he wound up beating this guy, I can't remember his name right now. But he fought this 41-year-old dude from Atlanta whose name I can't remember right now. And there's not much to dissect from the fight. He got a first round stoppage. So good for him, you know. Two different performances his last 2 fights. Last time he got 8 rounds, showed off the boxing skills, showed off the counter punching. This time he gets a knockout. So good for the kid from Fort Lauderdale to get the victory, to push his career forward, and just gotta keep building on it, and we'll see what happens next for him. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Collazo. Those are my thoughts on just the card in general, the 105 division, and yeah. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. Like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Dania. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. I'm at the Boxing Hall of Fame out here in Canterbury, New York. And for more great boxing content just like this video, make sure you click and subscribe right over here.